Alright, guys. My objective for this episode is I definitely want to get Wendy, but I may try to get some other customers unlocked after her. But she's going to be important because when we unlock her, we're going to unlock our final sauce as well. And that will unlock all of the ingredients. So that will be another milestone. Alright, I'm rich as F. Papa Louie Arcade, I like that. Alright, I want to get a regular, sign. Chicken wing or wing sign. Maybe this will help. I might also buy a... chicken strips. Don't know if I have room for this. No. Oh well. Alright. There. Alright, Mitch and Alberto. And Boomer is gonna come today. Now, Boomer, if I remember correctly, will start ordering cheese cubes. Sorry about that. And hopefully we can get our first gold customer too. I forgot who it was. I think it was probably Utah, right? I'm not 100% sure, but I know someone, one of my customers, is now one away from a gold. Well, Utah should come eventually, so we'll see if it's her. Ugh, Rita. Her order, like I said, is a doozy. There was this one episode where Professor got pissed. She would come in. She was like the first customer to come in, like for multiple days in a row, and then he just all of a sudden snapped and gave her a billion chicken wings. Okay, not literally, but it was literally over 1,000. And then it was lagging severely. Alright, Utah? No? Alright. So I'm pretty happy that the 4th of July weekend is over. And it is now Monday. I talked about this a little bit in my previous video, but I do prefer weekdays over weekends. It's an unpopular preference, I know, but it's just me. There's more going on during the weekday. And I know two of my friends actually are both coming back from vacations. Green Ethan, he was originally supposed to come back yesterday, but he told me that he had like a leak or something at his house, so he's coming back today instead. And then next week, I'm gonna go on my vacation. That's part of the reason why I'm just releasing these videos, that and because Green Ethan has been on vacation. I kind of just want to release some videos regularly because I already have videos planned for, between the, Ethan getting back from his vacation and me going on my vacation. Oh. Alright. I guess we're doing Boomer's order first. Now, I don't know if Green Ethan's gonna watch this, but I'll say it here, and I'll talk to him about it as well, but if I still have unlisted videos for when I go on my vacation, then I'm just gonna go ahead and make them public. Because when I get back, I honestly just want a... I want to record and premiere a fresh batch of videos. I don't really like it when I have videos sitting out for too long, so... yeah, I rather just... because, first of all, he was supposed to come back, you know... or, I'll just say it like this. He was originally supposed to come back on yesterday, so that's gonna set us back a day. And you never know, one of us could end up doing something else between, you know, for these next 9 days. And I may not be able to release all my videos, so... yeah. I mentioned, I don't know if I told Ethan yet, but I think what I'm gonna do is, when I get back from my vacation, maybe even the same day, since I'll probably be back by late morning, early afternoon, depending on what time we get up and come back, but... I may plan to record Metopia, and I'll use it to talk about my trip, you know, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and, you know, just stuff like that. Alright, so I think we have either Greg or Robbie coming in for the third. Because I saw like 8 barbecue wings too. But yeah. Man. And I'm almost to Valentine's Day in Papa's Pizzeria. I'm gonna spend this next 9 days or so trying to get to Valentine's Day, so when I come back, I can also record it. Yeah, those are probably gonna be my first 3 post-trip videos, is the second Metopia episode, and the 2 Valentine's Day Pizzeria Deluxe videos. Alright. Nice. Ashton gave me a good idea. Oh, nice. Clover's gonna be one away from a gold after this. I'm betting on her, and I believe it was Utah, right? Because I remember we had a customer that got to be one away from a gold, but I think it was Utah, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah. I don't know if I talked about this, but Ashton gave me a good idea. Because, Green Ethan, I know you and Ashton, when I told you about my plans to write a book about the impact of dogs on society, you guys warned me that it's going to take a lot of research and proof and whatnot to back up my claims so people don't think it's slander. And Ashton actually, and I agree with you guys, because you know, people will defend dogs to their death. Like, people will choose them even over their own children. But Ashton gave me the idea to talk a little bit about it in my neurodiversity related books. So basically my memoir and my general book about autism. That way I'm not making an entire book out of it, but I'm at least talking about the link between autism and a distaste for dogs. And now, I'm not saying all autistic people dislike dogs, but you see, you know, autistic people are very protective about their personal space, including me, and sensory issues is definitely one of the most common symptoms of autism. So that's why there seems to be a considerable link between the two. And even neurotypical people may dislike dogs, and maybe there are some autistic people who like dogs. You know, they can be separate, but there's also a lot of overlap as well. And no, when I do my memoir, I am not gonna be I don't want it to be a personal attack on my family or even my grandmother's or my grandparents' dog, but I definitely do want to talk about my experiences with dogs without pointing fingers at anyone. It does make me worried about passing it over to my dad, because on one hand, I do want him to get a better understanding of me, and I feel like passing down my memoir to him might be my only hope. But I'm worried about him getting annoyed or even mad about me venting about my discomfort with dogs. Oh, yes! Yes! Two. Alright, and we're also going to be getting another badge. Yep, all of the sauces. There isn't a badge for it, but we also have all of the items unlocked in general. But yeah, I'm a bit worried about how that will go. Because he needs to see me. I want my dad to do a better job of being empathetic. Or at least sympathetic. Because there is a difference between sympathy and empathy. You know, being sympathetic, or being empathetic means you understand what someone's going through. But being sympathetic, you know, you don't necessarily understand what they're going through, but you still care about what they're going through. Or what their overall situation is. I don't expect my dad to really understand necessarily, but I do want him to learn how to be more tactful about it. AKA sympathetic. Oh boy. When the time is right. Sarge fan. He keeps screwing me over for some reason. And his order isn't really even that hard to perfect. He's just being a picky asshole. But yeah, I know the thought of a book about dogs and dog culture makes people skeptical. Even dog haters themselves, cause you know, they understand how defensive people get over people hating dogs, so I don't blame them. But you know, it's not something I plan to publish anytime soon, because it's going to take a lot of thought, time, and even research to an extent. And even though I relate more to the negative aspects, unfortunately, I may talk a little bit about the positive part of, like, you know, dogs or owning dogs. That way, I can be more nuanced, and I guess you can say less biased. And I can make it like a more universal book. And it's not just that. I also want to talk about factors people should consider before getting a dog, or, alternatives to getting a dog if they don't really align with said factors. All right. Maybe I need to make sure the lines are spread evenly. These lines. All right. Sarge fan. Please. Okay, come on. Sarge fan, that's perfect, please. Okay, well, it's the waiting score, but he did give me 100% on the build score. Plus, I put some more signs up, which could have helped to influence that as well. Alright. So yeah, I don't want people to think that that book is just gonna be me talking shit about dogs. It's gonna be a lot more than just talking about the negative aspects of dogs, but it's gonna basically the main takeaway is I want to help create a better environment for people and dogs alike. I'm not saying people shouldn't get dogs, I'm not saying I want to put an end to dog ownership, but at the same time, people do need to understand that dogs are not for everyone. And if you have people who are living in your house, like a child or a partner, who's very uncomfortable around dogs and, like, whose mental health is negatively affected by dogs, you need to take that into consideration. People need to take that into consideration. And this also goes with not just owning dogs, but finding pet sitters. Because that's the situation I'm in right now. Yeah, my dad does plan to get a dog in the future, unfortunately, but as of right now, Oh, alright, whatever. I don't know how I got extra wings, but... oh well. Oh well. This kind of sucks, though, because now my customers are a lot less... they're a lot less patient now that I got rid of some of the waiting score stuff for the other station improvements boosts. And yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I consider my grandma on my dad's side to be a bit insensitive, because she knows how hard it is for me when the dog is over here, but she does not care. And my dad doesn't care either. He's just extremely insensitive to the situation, which only makes things worse. That's one of the reasons why I'm actually glad we're going on this vacation with them. Because that's one vacation they can take off their list without me dealing with the dog. Well, they'll probably bring him over to the vacation, but you know it's gonna be different because we're gonna have our own condos. Me, my dad, my brother, and then my grandparents and Zach, which is their dog. So, yeah. At least my grandfather, he's more chill and laid back in general. But at the same time, it's not like my grandma's the only one going on these vacations. They're both going. I don't know if I mentioned this, but according to my dad, the gift cards that they used to go on vacations ended up being hacked. Now, I don't expect this to stop them from going on vacations altogether, but... and I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I hope it'll be like a wake-up call of sorts. And, like, I get it. Like, they're retired, so they have to try to find other ways that they can find structure in their life without screwing everyone else over. Like they're really religious. They are really religious, so they could volunteer at a church or certain religion organizations in general. Or heck, if they love dogs so much, they can volunteer at a dog shelter. There's different ways people could find structure in their life without having to go on all these vacations. Because I get it, I crave structure. But at the same time, I'm very avoidant when it comes to vacations. And I only want to go on casual ones closer to home. I might actually get rid of my signs and put, entertainment items back up, because they're probably helping me a lot more than the build station improvement items. Because customers in this game are very impatient. And well, at least I'm maintaining 100% right now, but earlier in this video, I was struggling to maintain it. Alright. And next time he comes back, he'll be a silver. And yeah, that's another thing I'm going to talk about in my memoir. I really want to get through to, well, society as a whole, but especially my dad and my mom. They both need to understand that I get really stressed out and even depressed at times when I'm pushed too far out of my comfort zone. And, like, they know I didn't do, like, they know I didn't do too well on when we went to Florida. And even before then, they were skeptical about the Florida trip. And then we went, and then I didn't do very well. Yet my dad and even my mom, to some extent, is still insisting on me going halfway across the country. My dad is hell-bent on taking us to California or to Virginia. And I remember my mom was trying to get me to come to Florida. Because I won't get into why, because it's sensitive and personal, but she did have to go to Florida for personal reasons back in 2020. And my mom was saying how I should be there in Florida with her. And I'm just like, look, Mom, you know I'm uncomfortable around these vacations. And my dad is confusing because he'll switch between being a bit understanding to just being downright insensitive and threatening to force me to go. Like, he is just, I'm not saying my dad's the bad guy, but he is Yep, I was right. It was Utah. Well, Utah, you're gonna be our first gold. How do you like that? Oh, crap. Yeah, and I'm not saying my dad's a bad guy, but at the same time, he just does not understand what it's like to be autistic or to possibly have ADHD. And when I try to seek reassurance or confirmation, a lot of the times he'll just get mad at me and even cuss at me. Like, that's another thing too, is like, he's a very stressed out person, and like sometimes he'll take his stress out on me. It's just insane. Ah, there. Alright, and I believe she'll be our first gold. Yes, and yep, he starts ordering wasabi, wasabi wings. Whew. Thank goodness. Oh my god. And yeah, these are many reasons why I am eventually looking forward to getting my own place. Not anytime soon, but sometime in the future, like, later in the future. Because there's just too many incompatibilities between me and my dad, and it could just get worse and worse and worse as time goes on. Oh, I still got 100. Nice. I don't remember who we unlock after Wendy. I know Carlo and Prudence should be unlocked not too long after. But that doesn't mean we'll be unlocking one of them next. Let's see what happens. Oh, Taru! Green Ethan, I don't know if you're watching this, but I'm sure you are jumping with joy. Yeah, Taru is unlocked a lot earlier in Puppet's Hot Doggeria. Like, literally on day 2, she's unlocked. But in this game, she's not unlocked until after we unlock all the ingredients. I may end it off after today. We will see. Oh yeah, today's Ninjoy Day. Barf. Now, I don't hate Ninjoy, I just hate her order in this game. Well, I don't know. I may play for one more day after this, because I want to see if JoJo orders wasabi. I need a wasabi boost. Alright, and I think Hank's gonna be a gold pretty soon. Oh yeah, he still has 2 more after this. But yeah, I'll play for one more day, because I don't want to end it off with Ninjoy. JoJo will be a better customer to end it off. Yeah, I know. Your ridiculous order that I cannot perfect for whatever reason. I'm curious. I wonder if anyone has ever gotten a perfect score on her order. Like after shrimp is unlocked. Because when you don't have shrimp unlocked, it is possible, but to get a perfect. But after it is unlocked, it literally becomes impossible. Unless someone can debunk my claim. Oh. That was an accident. I didn't mean to move that wing. I meant to grab a fryer. Alright. Okay, yeah. Ah. Yeah. For the love of God. Alright. Uh, this is what I did last time, but I don't care. Enjoy, your order is ridiculous. I know you're a closer, but even Zolo's order is not this impossible to perfect. Alright, one more day. Today's JoJo Day, so it'll be a fun way to end off this episode. You know, some people ship Lapete and Taru. Well, one person ships Lapete and Taru for some reason. Makes 0 sense, but whatever. And people, well, I won't mention her name because she's an ex-friend of me, you, Green Ethan, Ashton, and the other Ethan, but for some reason, this particular person now ships Robbie with Akari, which I don't understand the connection between them. That's not even the most or the worst ship she has. She also ships Kahuna, Clover, And probably the worst one, Mandy and Alberto. I have no idea. And then she left Reddit because me, along with others, were calling her out on her BS. Kind of like what she did to you, Green Ethan. I remember you were trying to talk to her when she was in a live stream. But she just chickened out and left. Alright, good. We need wasabi orders, because I need to get that sticker. Hopefully Jojo will order wasabi with his order this week. Oh yeah, she also ships Moose and Coily for some reason. Yeah, she's a crack shipper. Oh yes, alright. We're gonna get a second gold customer. Yeah, believe it or not, I don't even think this particular person ships Taru and Lapete. But I don't even know if I want to know who she ships them with, if anyone. Alright, that should be Jojo. Wendy, why? Jojo. I wanted you to order wasabi. Nice. Yeah. It took us weeks to get the honey mustard sticker. It is. A slow process. And yeah, one thing I will say before this ends is I've noticed that when you get customers to a gold, especially in the pre-holiday era, they won't come back for a while. Now, like in earlier games, they'll they'll come back because like when it's like their favorite holiday. Ooh, almost used the wrong sauce. And when you have like a special that has ingredients that corresponds to their regular order. But in pre-holiday, but during the pre-holiday era, before we had holidays and specials, yeah, you would have to wait a while for them to come back. Or, start coming back after getting a gold customer medal ranking. So we won't see Utah and what was our other gold? Clover? I don't remember. We won't see them for a while. Thanks a lot, Wendy. You ruined my perfect day. Go back to Wendy's and think about what you did. Anyway, I think I'm going to end it off right here, guys. I will see you guys later. Bye.